Are you still adding boxes to your visuals in Power BI? Well, today we're going to show you how to add visual pizzazz to your reporting without the boxes. Stay tuned. So let's talk about creating report backgrounds using something as simple as PowerPoint. So here we have PowerPoint open. First thing we're going to do is change the layout so that we don't have anything. We're just going to click blank. Then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to change the size of the slide to match that's in Power BI. So we're going to go to the slide size here, and we're going to pick custom slide size, and we're going to change it basically to custom, and then we're going to change the width to be 8.8889 inches. And then we're going to change the height to be 5 inches. And that gets us roughly the proportion of a report. And so now we have this nice report, and we can go ahead and we can basically turn on the grid lines to make it easier to line up stuff. And when we're designing our slides, there's a few things that we want to do. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in some shapes. Now, one of the things I'm doing here is I'm using the shapes as a way of highlighting where things will go. Now at the top of the slide there, I'm going to reserve that for basically filters and titles and such. So in this case, I think I'm going to have a left side slicer. Now this is a nice blue box that we don't want, so we want something a little bit lighter. So I'm going to make it just the edges here. And really what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the lines at some point. So I'm going to change that to a light gray background. I'm going to say no outline, so it's just very basic shading. And then I'm going to add a slight shadow to it. So basically like this. And so now you've got something that when it's behind the graphic will actually highlight the fact that this stuff goes together. So we're going to go ahead and copy this. And I'm going to make another copy, because we're going to create some zones here. So let's go ahead and lay these out. And notice that PowerPoint, it helps you lay these things out pretty easily with the guides. So we can make this roughly about half. We'll adjust it as we go through. And probably, let's see, let's make another copy, paste. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good, but might look a little heavy here. So let's go ahead. We're going to get rid of the fill. I'm going to change that back to white. Now the challenge here is, after we do this, is it doesn't look like there's a top edge. So we'll fix that in a moment. So let's go ahead and fix the other one. Alrighty, now let's go ahead and go back to this one. I want to check the outline here, and I'm going to make it very, very light. Let's see, go to solid line, and we're going to change this to the lightest color there is. It's there, but it's not in your face there. Because the darker the line, that's where we start creating visual noise. So I'll go ahead and use the Format Painter to apply it elsewhere. And so what we have now is a very basic background. Now, I want to make sure they're aligned, so we'll go ahead and we'll align the top. Everything looks good there. Now, in order to package this for putting out as a graphic, we need a background image to kind of tie it all together. So what we're going to do, I'm going to paste this down here. I'm going to make it the size of the slide, basically. And I'm going to get rid of all the effects, basically. So no shadow. And get rid of the outline. All right, so just basic, clear slide, if you will. But we're going to make it the size of the slide. And then we're going to send it to the back here. So to the very back. Now what we're going to do is we're going to basically select everything on the slide. And by doing so, we're going to group it. And then we're going to do save as picture, like so. So I'm doing Control-click, got everything selected, right-click, group. And then I can right-click, save as picture. So here I'm going to go ahead and save it to my pictures directory. You can see I've got some other backgrounds out there. So we'll go ahead and name this. I'm going to call this a background for blog post. That sounds good. And go ahead and click save. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut over to Power BI. Now, there's some reasons why you can use your image as a background, but there's some real good reasons why you may not want to. So here we see in Power BI, you can go ahead and you click on the page, you can go add an image, and you can click fit, and it looks pretty good. So once it's in there, we can resize our graphics on top of it, like so, and line it up. So again, taking advantage of the fact we've got something behind here, we don't actually need to do any styling of the graphics this way, which is one of the nice things. Basically letting that graphic do all the heavy lifting. And this is all great and all. So we've got, it looks like they're actually floating above the page now, which is pretty nice. Let's make some other tweaks here, because alignment is very important if you're going to use this technique. So here I'm going to line up the stuff on the left, and I definitely do not want the edge highlighted. Like, I don't need a border on this, otherwise it doesn't take advantage of the fact you've got a graphic behind it. So here we are. We're going to do the same thing up here. Again, take the border off of it. Now it looks like it basically belongs on the page. Let's go ahead and take the border off of everything. Again, borders create unnecessary visual noise, so this is a lighter way of doing this. So this all looks great and all, and this would work very well if we were going to use it, say, on the web. Let's just make sure I got everything lined up. All right, that's looking good. Now, what happens if we go and convert it to the phone layout? Aha, now you see the problem. Well, the thing is, there's no way to get rid of the background if you've got it as set as a true background when you switch to mobile. So now this is creating a problem for us, because if we drag stuff on top of it, we're stuck with it. And so it only works to the web by itself. So let's create a duplicate of the page. And this time I'm going to get rid of that background. So we'll just go with a plain background, like so. And now I'm going to insert that background as a new image. All right, so put this in here. Again, it's just in an image frame. It's got the same thing. I'm going to stretch it over the size of the entire page, like so. We're going to go to Format. We're going to send it to the back, so it's behind everything, just like we had before. We probably need to resize our visuals just a hair, though, because it's going to be just a tad smaller. So we're going to fix that now. Go ahead and make this change. Look at this. Okay, that looks about right. Yeah. Close enough. All right. And we'll do the same here. Again, try to line it up. And make this, take advantage of this. Those are looking pretty good. They're slightly out of alignment, so again, we could fix these pretty easily. All right, that looks about right. Maybe. Yeah. Okay, let's fix the bottom one here. Just a tad too big. Come on, there we go. And stretch it. All right, now that looks good. Perfect. Now, let's go ahead and do the mobile. Aha, no background to deal with. In fact, it's over there where we can choose to put it in or not. And in this case, we're not going to, which gives us the advantage of being able to essentially style and format the mobile page just as we wish, without the additional clutter of that background image. So again, this will really help you keep a nice, clean mobile interface.